Welcome, episode 31, Finding Things Within and Without. Now, the alert that everybody got this morning at 7:13 on 7:13. I didn't do that. Okay. So what seems to have occurred is I left the studio open last night after the show to make sure everything was uploaded properly, and so somehow Riverside still had functionality to it, and I was I was checking in with Ricardo and Sarah and Jacqueline. By the way, prayers for Maxie, the you know the cat, guys. For all of you that have followed along, there's nobody here yet, so this is for watchbacks. Say prayers for Max and Jacqueline. Ricardo might be popping in here shortly. I made him aware of what we're doing. I know. I didn't announce. Nobody knew I was coming live. I didn't know, and that seemed to be the impetus for a decent early morning chat, at least as far as teenage daughters are concerned, because they're still sleeping, and we're not going to hit the road just yet. But when Sarah sent me a little, friendly reminder, she was like, "Hey, do you know that you've got a notification up to go live?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And she said, "Yeah, but wait, it went up at 7:13 your time on today's date, 7:13." And I said, "Oh, so I guess I better go live then, huh?" So here we are. We are exhibiting in all ways. Link you in? Yeah, I'll link you in. Hang on one second. We're exhibiting in all ways the no plan. What's up, Thoth? Matt, how are you, sir? So let's see, link you in. Okay. That's the same link I always give you should work, but hang on one second. Okay. Gotta close that. I gotta go to people. I gotta go to invite via link. I gotta go copy link. Yeah, okay. Come as a guest, right? Okay. And then X. X is what I've got pulled up here. So your personal DMs in X is there. What about you, Matt? You want to come say hello? All right. Okay, Sarah. Your X has a LinkedIn to episode 30, actually 31. All right, now let's continue with our guidance and how we navigate these decisions. So I'm thinking I get to sleep in. The girls, they know they can sleep till 11, or so. We're going to try to depart by lunch. Well, I'm up early anyway, time alone, outside, coffee, then eventually a little music, Jacob, a little, bite to eat. And then I start checking in, with folks, messages, and I get this alert from Sarah. She's like, "Hey, man, you 7:13. You sent a thing on 7:13," and I was like, "No, I didn't." And so I said, "Well, I guess that means I gotta go live, don't I?" And so I invited my compadres. I was like, "Well, anybody, you're welcome. Come hop on." And obviously it becomes apparent to me then. Let's bring in, while we wait to see if anybody else wants to pop in with us, the other actions that had transpired this morning. So when I'm checking in, with my messages, as I put it earlier, I'm trying to get the chat back up, guys. There we go. What's up, dude? Good morning. Good morning. I hope Monday's off and running well for you. Ricardo says, yeah, okay. So I see what's going on. Ricardo's on a call, and Sarah's going to pop in. That's excellent. So I'll continue now with the reasoning, behind these decisions, as if you want to call them that. So we have a Discord group over at the Institute for Natural Philosophy, right? And on some of the little personal check-ins I might do in the morning, the little tiny things I try to find that are worthwhile on this device. Most of it is about community building, but a few places I might look for sort of a vibe for the day, right? And one of those places, the message was July 13th. You're a true individual. The energy of Uranus. Now, in the wake of Lindsey Graham's death, that is just Uranus. All right, so there's a planet, and people are saying there's energy associated with it, right? It's about pushing boundaries and breaking that status quo. Anything that's logical or traditional, right? Now, that resonates with me. And hang on, I've got photo stamps here. That happened to be at 8:13 a.m. my time, right? So I then take that message, a little screenshot no, wait a minute, that is 9:13 my time. Yeah, okay. So at 9:13 my time, I then send it over to my friends, right? And then Sarah quietly says, "Hey, dude, at 7:13 on 7:13, you scheduled a live?" I was like, no, chick, no, I didn't. What's up? So as we're talking about her, so yeah, she sent me this message this morning, guys, and I was like, no, that wasn't me. And then I looked at the time, and Sarah, I don't know if you realized, but when I had sent you in our group Discord that little screenshot about being an individual and pushing boundaries, and that was at 9:13 a.m. my time, right? And
Right.
it was at that point that then you linked over. And so here you go, guys. You have a no plan in action, or just guided, as we try to call it around here. What's going on with you this morning? How's everybody?
Well, while you were saying that, you were 7 minutes and 13 seconds into this live, so there's that.
Oh shit! There it is. Look at us.
Just keeps on giving.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. You see, so we struggle to try to explain these things to you all, and you'll hear us say we don't believe in a plan. And last night I ended the episode, quite again like this, no plan, with Ricardo. I said, "How do you make God laugh?" And he, with the
Tell
serious
him your
normalness,
plans.
ugh. I said, and we were just dying laughing, right? But once you learn how to operate with those plans, then you can just bling, 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 bling. It's everywhere, and yeah. So that's all we're trying to exhibit. Other than that, we're probably just going to say hey, and see what pops in our skulls. To talk to you about. What's up, Steve? There's Steve. Steve is always a plethora of things to talk about. Matt is taking time out of his morning. Tell Agent Smith in the Matrix that we said bugger off. Um,
There's
if that,
Steve.
there's Steve, Cardinal Steve.
I'm going to message you back in a minute, Steve.
Yeah,
Got a little tied up real quick.
we've got to say good morning. Good morning to the community at large. That yeah, we're proud to be building, and proud to have each other and have this community to exhibit. That's really, Sarah. That's all at this point. I have, because I just know when it's time to press a button, because somebody needs to see something or somebody needs to say something. You know. Or we just need to sit here and go, all right, y'all, for real, we make decisions in our private lives like this.
Right? Look at that tag on that car.
Right? Oh, hang on, let me do the. Yeah, okay, not today. Not today. It's patience. Is all right, chill. And then, you're like, wait a minute, what is it? 999-333. Oh, hang on one second. Go, run, go now. Okay, all right, let's go.
Run.
Right?
Run. 8888.
Fucking go. That's the ship over there, and that's the rope behind it. You need to grab it. All right, last fucking minute. I got you. And other times it's no, that's not your boat, man. Sit back here. You want a cold drink? Here's some hydrate coconut water.
Right.
Some days it's that.
Drink your water.
Let that boat just sail, man. But other days it's precisely that. That was it. Well, why didn't you tell me before it was moving? Because you like to run and swim. Yeah, you're right. Shit. Knew I was here for a reason, and it's oftentimes fun, you know. It's
Especially
oftentimes
when
fun.
you admit that you don't know what's best and just like let go of it and surrender. Like that's the word of the week, I think, is surrender. Because
And
we've all seemed to
trust.
be, yeah, and trust. We've all been given some type of heart. I mean, it's Mercury's in Gatorade, as we said.
Yeah,
Everyone's got
Gatorade.
some sort of hardship that they're battling right now, and it's about winging it and trusting that it's gonna be okay. Even if it's not, it's
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Yeah, how do you handle Mercury retrograde? Well, you look around and you go, all right, I got foundations. Yeah, yeah, you do. They don't. Well, you do. You're right. So what am I worried about? Nothing. Okay.
Right.
You
Guess we'll
know?
learn to fly.
Yes, well, that's precisely what it is. Yeah, yeah, that's the energy. That's the energy that's afoot. Here, you'll like this. So we'll further evidence our insanity, everybody. I had a great number yesterday, right? And it was last night. And because I'd been trying to put some things into words, right? You know, like the obvious energy I was feeling, you know, just my own personal, just here, right? The only things that Jason or Sarah inside Sarah would know about, you know, and those energetic shifts, you know, where you can just feel, right? Well, I had been ruminating as I'm running around or driving around or living the day on sort of how do I verbalize this? You know, that's always sort of a back thought whenever anything, you know, in my experience is like, whoa, this was be good to try to share, right?
Right.
So yesterday, it doesn't matter how, but just to evidence what we're saying, I get the number 2-1, right? And it was obvious, the way it's made obvious to me, you know. JHY 021. Oh, I don't know. Let me let me ask why, right? All right, so check this out, Sarah. Um, 21. The collector becomes the creator through the full arc of the journey. Right? I'm just reading top to bottom. That's how it starts. 21 is the world. All right. And then they break down the last number trumped, where gathering, number 2, precedes making. And the result is creative expression that carries everything behind it. You know the feeling, I'm reading, when everything clicks? Not the small click of solving a Tuesday crossword, the deep one, the one where years of work, years of fumbling, years of not quite getting it suddenly become a single clear thing inside you. You can feel the shape of what you've been through, and none of it was wasted. And the knowledge of that sits in your body like a bell that just finished ringing. 21 is that bell. And then what it really goes into, let's see if it's worth continuing for a second. Um, the last, all right, she is not resting, she is posing. She is dancing because the journey is complete. And completion, real completion, turns out to be a kind of movement. So what really hit me there was the collector becomes the creator. And then he goes in to break down how 12 and 21, you know, transpose, but it's that moment, it's the reverse. 12 is like, you know, when you are beginning that process, but, you know, all that you've been gathering to you and, you know, has been forced on you, right? And all you, Sarah,
It
particularly,
wasn't for
right?
nothing.
That's it. And what is that moment when you're like, I've said it like this. I don't know how many times I've been out in the creek in those early days, Sarah. And for real, I'd be, you know, middle of the night, you know, just out there on those times when I was out there for long periods, and I'd be in the process of gathering rocks, you know, and all I knew at that point was these nature is not just responsible for this, right? And the more I
Right.
study it, the more my eye gets trained. So, you know, it's just in process, and I just learning to grab and identify. And I'd get so frustrated some nights because, you know, it's like years of studying things that most people are saying it's not nothing, you know. And so in frustration, you're like, all right, listen, what the fuck is it with the rocks, right? Like, fucking tell me, you know. And what you get back is you kind of got to trust me on the rocks, you know. And he's all right, okay, oh fine, I you know had to ask, right? And you keep going, right? Well, that's like my version of what you would recognize or anybody else would recognize as leaning into yourself, and those things to be true, no matter what the outside environment is throwing at you, you know and and I know and you walk that daily, in a very proud, wonderful way, right? And
Well, I
yeah,
had several more instances of, I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm not gonna do that. That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna do it this way. So
exactly.
you gotta have some detours in there.
That's the thing, right? And I guess one of the ways to try to say this feeling and what feels good about it for those of us that know what we're talking about here is so often on those detours, right? You've learned to walk confidently. And so you're walking confidently through those detours, as though it's not a detour, right? And oftentimes you pointed out, well, what was that for, and so you kind of feel like,
But
what does,
why?
but why? What was that? Why, But then something inside you goes, all right, it's all for something. It's all a school here. And if I'm seeing to me and I'm being true to me and I'm training me, somewhat, I have faith. Might be a word you use at that point, right? And
Right?
I'm willing to engage in this growth process. And so then this energy that we're talking about now comes about, and it's as though, yeah, it's as though suddenly you'd, whatever, graduated is a silly word, but it's a word you might use, people might
Level
use.
up. Video game
Yeah, and you
reference.
didn't even know it. You know what I mean? You didn't even know it was coming. You're just fucking level, bing, bing, level, bing, bing,
Right.
level, bing, bing, level, bing, bing. Okay, I can fucking do this forever, bing, bing, if I have to, and then all of a sudden it's like, what happened?
Skirt.
What happened? Next level. Oh, fuck, finally. All right.
Here's a different set of obstacles. Have fun.
All right. I didn't bring anything with me. Yeah, you did. What are you talking about? All that shit you collected, we kept. Look, you got a game bag. Holy fuck.
Exactly.
Did I get all that? Yeah, man, we just hung on to it for you. Oh, I'm getting it now. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I see. It's like
It's
that
not the
because
destination, but the journey.
it's
That's right,
always the
Steve.
journey. But people like us, like Steve, like Tammy, like everybody,
Speaking of rocks,
speaking of rocks,
hey
you
Tamitha.
know, there are people that have held on to something that they believed in that perhaps there was no external encouragement for whatsoever, right? In fact, lots of probably naysaying and discouragement. That's a common feature. But they all exhibited that same kernel we're talking about here, is that they were just like, no, nuh-uh, I love this. This is, I don't care. Call me crazy. Something here, something here. And, at its heart, that's what we're talking about. And that's why we press go live when the numbers and the technology said, bling. But I guess the key component is, as soon as you pointed out to me, Sarah, that I didn't do it and it happened at 7:13 on 7:13, my immediate response was, I'm getting the coffee,
I know I saw it this morning and I was like, I know he said he was gonna maybe go live tomorrow, but
It had
it's
crossed
awfully
my
early.
mind. Yeah, I was thinking like when we get there tonight, it's going to be raining all day, and that's good, temperature wise. But it'll be, one of those sort of like New Englandy day in the beaches instead of, typical Florida. So
I
I was
like
thinking,
those though.
I do, I love them. I love them
I like
too.
those.
They're cool and the waves are big, you know?
Mercy.
Yes, exactly. It is mercy. However, my thought was that I'd be plenty able to get together and do a show tonight or a read tonight, but then you sent me the lineup right after I had sent everybody that message about being an individual at 9:13, and then here we are, everybody. Tammy, what's going on? Rocks hold memories, so do crystals. Yeah, you know, some people might not know quite what we mean by the word memory because they want to think of it in a human sense and they want to think, oh, does that mean it has a brain and a mouth and like me and it's lived lives, you know? Like, no, but information is completely available to you through these sources. I could even say you know, if you want me to pin down what I mean by that, when I go specifically to high quartz places, right? Like this island on the Coosa, Sarah. Now, it just so happens that all these rocks have been manipulated by man, okay? Most of them anyway, right? Because they were harvesting quartz, which is from this impact crater, right? But when I go there and I go bare feet, you know, and it's probably the same way at the Gulf, you know, because that sand is all quartz, right? So you got to think these experiences the same. But I can then find my whatever word people would like to use, my connection to the thing both within and without me, much more readily, and it's much easier to sort of stay in that when I'm in those physical environments that are quartz heavy and rocks with age and story and human lives behind them, you know. That's why guys will see so many of my videos are from down there. It's because when I'm down there, that's when the thoughts, you know, are clear, right? And the things I want to say are just there. So that's what I mean by, yeah, when you see people that are into these big rocks and things go, rocks have memory. There's very many layers to that, and there's very many truths, you know, in my own experience to that, Sarah. That
That's
that was.
funny.
Go ahead.
That's funny that you say that because I was watching my tarot reading last night, and I've not done this in a long time. I've been trying to avoid like readers and stuff. But he was
Sure,
talking about
sure.
um, making a memory of some sort and the number six, and like me and you, we know our quick numbers, and five
Yeah.
is change and
Yep.
six
Yep.
is reflect.
Yeah.
And so a memory and a reflection, they're kind of the same thing. So, you know, where
Mm.
Tammy's saying that they hold memories, they hold a reflection of something. And I think that that's important to notice too.
It is. It is. I don't know if you'd call it a reflection or a memory, but way back before I even knew what I was doing out in these creeks with these rocks, when I just knew that the minimum I was amongst native, you know, stuff, and then therefore places natives would have been, you know, and this wasn't from books. This was just, you know, coming. And so many days, Sarah, what I would enjoy doing is when you find these little tiny tributaries, you know, just clear water, but like this shallow, and just these beautiful rocks, and all of them, you know, a hammerstone or whatever people might identify as, yeah, that was in somebody's hand. Well, I could walk up those and I could just pick up rocks and I could imagine like native children playing. And then I could real easily, my mind's eye could take the trees back, you know, and then I could real easily go, oh, well, that's that's a mound, but I could also just see these people inhabiting this place. You know what I mean? Now, what is that a product of? The fact that it happened there, yes. The fact that I was being open, but by grabbing these things, you know, that despite all the changes, such as a rock, that was there when they're there, then yes, if one is objective to it, then I think it's waiting there for you, you know, to be interpreted.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tammy, for that comment. And I'll scroll down. And I guess, oh, I'm in control here. Um,
I know I keep trying to put comments on the
I'm
screen, and
so
I'm like, I
sorry.
don't.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. It's not about the destination, it's the journey. And what got us started on that little conversation was Tammy's comment here, rocks hold memories just like crystals. And of course, we all in this community are formed, the piezoelectricity is actual, energy generation within quartz when
Yes.
pressure is applied. And, if you have a piece of quartz, guys, the size, of this big, 2, 3 feet, and you go stand on it, you've applied pressure, right?
Right.
So naturally, grounding on that is going to have a different approach. That's a big truck.
Good trash day.
No, well, it's yard debris day. You know what I mean? When they
Okay.
come around to get and they bring the crane
Yeah, yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what Steve's got here. You never know what seed may be planted when you follow the calling and what that seed may grow into. That's it. Oh, Steve, see, LC? Talk shit about Steve. You don't
Look
know
at
what you're
Steve being
saying.
down with the woo.
Steve. Totally Mr. Technical and Mr. What's the phrase we had to put out beforehand? The disclaimer. He's got all your bases covered in that way, but he also completely understands what we're talking about. As does, I think, probably everybody hanging out here. No Agent Smith today. Excellent. That's why you're hanging out with us then. It's good to hear. We appreciate your support, Matt.
Smith's actually my last name, so that's not entirely true. So there's that.
Agent
Good
Smith
luck
is.
finding me anywhere.
No, you know what this is? Look, you know what I always say about the gatekeepers? Whenever somebody, when I was first sort of going public and everybody's about gatekeepers, I was like, don't fucking worry. We're just going to tunnel up under, pop up on the inside, and lock them out from there. It's like you're doing
Yep.
the same thing with Agent Smith. And just work your way in, and they try to Agent Smith, and they just, oh no, it's Sarah. She got a hold of the machine.
It's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you get away with it right there. That's I've seen the way you treat local municipality officials on Facebook. When they,
As the hecklefish. Hecklefish 33 shows up. That's me.
Sarah's all, that was not me that pointed out your fallacies in real life in the public in front of everybody. Bless your heart.
I know. I just called out the director of the SPED department last week, and the assistant director, and then they jumped in too. They don't know it was me though, so I could say whatever I wanted.
Well, I know I wasn't going to divulge that part of your plan, but it's very effective.
Hey, that mama got her situation sorted out, so that's I just saw a
That's
post about that this morning.
that's it.
So,
Sarah is all mama energy, and if you see mama energy popping up with the anonymous member name on Facebook, it might have Sarah behind it.
it's me.
And that's one of the things, obviously, that's easy to love about Sarah is not only the I don't want to put any words on it, but the own non average challenges that the mother in you has had to conquer. Let's just
I'll
say.
fight you.
Yeah, basically.
I'll fight you.
Pretty much, and that's the
Not
energy.
on the internet. Not on the
That's
internet, probably.
no, no. She leaves that up to Ricardo and I. My whole energy and Ricardo's whole. Dear sir, the following 18 paragraphs will explain that behavior was completely appropriate. Yours was not, and here's what you owe us. Thank you.
Right. I
I
have to
love
be
it.
director of PR here. But when I'm the hecklefish, I can hold my whole damn town accountable for being stupid. Next, I'm waiting on those stupid flop cameras to show up around here.
Oh no.
I'm happy to spearhead that.
Yeah, yeah. I've helped a lot of people in recovery, and so I have a lot of connections to people that are still in addiction. And I can just imagine as soon as the first flock camera shows up, I'm just going to make printer flyers. Hand these out. Tell everybody how much money is in those things, please. Quit
Fire
taking
the
our
laser.
quit taking our catalytic converters. There's money there, okay?
What is
The
Ricardo
laser.
talking about?
I don't know. Did you check in with him? Because he had mentioned wanting to say hello this morning before I get about packing up the fam.
He said he's still waiting on a call and to check my Discord. So I checked my Discord, right? He sent me a file that's like,
That's his
let me
emails,
just
man.
let me just check this real quick.
Yeah, real quickly, like. Yeah, I don't have anything but a thank you, and I don't know what that means other than he's still engaged elsewhere. So this was our quick, good morning inspiration. Monday it's Monday, so start of the week for everybody.
Yeah. What he sent me is a paper about scientific research on storing data in crystals and crystal-like glass materials.
Oh, there you go. Y'all see what we mean? It's teamwork is sort of the name, a word you could put to what you were exhibiting. Feel free to read it. He didn't send it to me, so he must not want me to touch it.
I would, but it's so tiny.
Okay, tell everybody where they can find
Like if I
Ricardo.
zoom in, if I zoom in enough to read it, then I have to read it like
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I see. And it's just too much. It's too much. But you can find Ricardo. How did I do it last night? Calvario.
Calvario.
Calvario. That's it. That's the way he wants it done. But I came up with like a Puss in Boots way, but I can't remember quite what it was now. Calvario. Something like that. But it was better last night. Either way, you can find him on X. You can, Sarah, I'm going to let you talk about your shit for a minute. Never speak of the Padre.
Speak of the devil.
No, that's not. No. Oh, wait a minute. That is the devil in. That's right. See, last night, Ricardo and I recalled a quote that said, the devil can send wolves in sheep's clothing, but God sends lions in lamb's clothing. So, that's our. He's the devil. Yeah, shh.
It's funny because we had a discussion one time about the meaning of his name, and Ricardo means Richard, and Calvario is like of Calvary. So he's the dick of Calvary.
Dick over Calvary. Yeah. Yeah. That's why the collar. We need the collar.
The dick of
If
Calvary
we're
is
going to
here.
fully infiltrate the institutions. There's so
We're
many
gonna get him a
layers.
nameplate
There's
for
so
his
many
desk.
layers to that right now, Sarah.
The
I
Lord
guess
Dickens.
all I can say is good morning.
It's a lingam in India, the great god erection, as they call it. That's, there we go. That's the same thing. See, all cultures, all boils down into the dick of Calvary. Welcome, Richard.
Richard.
Fearless
so not
leader.
a Richard.
Fearless leader.
Fearless indeed.
He so is not. He fits every description we've put forth from him, no matter how disparate they may sound. I promise you, they all walk around in that thing. All right, so do you know how we ended up here? All right, so Riverside, because I guess last night when you and I ended, I left the studio open. But didn't minimize, because I like to make sure that AI does its shit, and I can sit down in the morning and throw out a clip, right? Okay. Well, Sarah, at 9:13 my time, because I had sent that little inspirational quote about being a true individual to our Discord, Institute for Natural Philosophy Discord, come find us. And, Sarah then goes, hey, dude, you sent up a live this morning. And I was like, no. She's like, now, hang on. It was at 7:13 on 7:13. And I said, oh, I'm going live. Are you coming? How is everything, boss? You don't have to, tell the audience whatever you want, but
I think the worst has passed by for now.
Great.
bless, bless.
But I'm still waiting for the talk with the vet.
Okay, everybody, if you'd like to send catnip, the P.O. box is. We need to keep Maxie in complete comfort and happiness and all the things he needs and wants to be in a pleasant place, as we hope for all of our pets on a daily basis. And
Absolutely.
pets is a very loose term, it's probably what most people mean by that word is not quite what you'll find all of us leaning towards our pets with. If you ever wanted to get a picture of me, saying good morning as soon as I hit the bed, you're gonna see it's to a dog, nuzzling up to me, going, "Give me more covers, man. I'm cold. I'm not ready yet. What are you doing?"
Move.
Biting at the cover, pulling it back over. So yeah, pet.
Yeah.
So basically, what I sent you, Sarah, was just
Here we
a
go.
little note
Yeah,
on.
now we get it.
A little note on. It's not science fiction.
It's not.
They
Okay.
are they are actually trying to store data, and very successfully, on crystals. So the size of a quarter, I don't know how big is a quarter there, but the size of a quarter, it's 300 terabytes that they are
Oh wow.
successfully storing,
Yep.
right? So
I'm going to see to our chat for a second now that y'all can talk.
it's and they are not testing its limits. They are constrained by the limits of our own technology, not of the crystal, because it can
Right.
still keep adding up. Right. And they are also
Space.
using, yeah, they call it 5D memory. I can't I can't remember the lot items or crystals or
Mm-hmm.
implants. And they are also using it to store holographic information. So they even call it the Superman crystal.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes,
The
that's what they
Superman
call it.
crystal. We're just gonna call it that.
So
Don't need anything fancy.
I'm editing the way this is stored because it had 31, y'all. Now it had 30. Now it's 31. So the 13 now echoes back to the collector becoming the creator. I don't know if you got to hear that part, Ricardo, about the numbers, but the theme was the collector. You know, those of us that have been collecting, just as you have, you know, all of these things for so long, and that sudden energy, that sudden click, when, you know, you finally, within you, in only a way you would know, kind of get that register of, okay, cool, that's what it was all for. All right. You know, that sort of energy, and words are hard. But that's what we were talking about when you were dealing with your call earlier.
I just said the other day that eventually Link will build his own Hyrule, like in his own consciousness, and make his own video game. So the collector becomes the creator.
That's it. That's it.
It's the same thing, no matter what
well,
word you
what
do.
do you think we
It's
are?
the same thing. It reminds me of an experience I had where the world kind of became Minecraft around me, you know, and the message I got was, you know, go build, you know, don't worry about, you know, you've learned about all the things that are out there and all the people and what they try to destroy and do and yada yada. But, you know, in that crystallar moment, it was just like, you know,
Yeah.
forget that. You know, Minecraft, go, you know, make some fucking potions, you know,
Create.
create, exactly.
With successful results in capillary growth, let it be said, right?
Capular? What do you mean, like capillaries,
Well,
like in a
because you,
cell? Sorry, I'm multitasking. Go ahead.
because you were much bolder than I am, so look at you now. So those potions really work.
Dude, there was, I had to swallow a whole lot of reasons to not give a fuck, okay? Those potions are bitter, they're nasty. Your first 8 reactions are to spit them out. You know, they kind of have to like tape your mouth shut till you finally swallow the first one and you realize you'll survive, you know, and then you're like, all right, fine. How many more of these? And they're like, don't ask. You don't want to know the answer to that question. And so you're like, all right, fine.
Focus
And,
on the results.
and right, folks. And then one day, you know, they tell you finally, all right, all those potions, you got a coin each time, and we've been keeping them for you here. Blibbing, you know, and you're like, oh, okay. So here we are.
Then you
With
go
our
there
bag
and
of
say,
coins we don't know what to do with.
look, I look at my feet this morning. Does this mean I'm a hobbit now?
Exactly. You got to wake up with that. You got to. It's like waking up in a dream. You know, people talk about lucid dreaming and they always want to make it like, hey, you can control your dream. And like my experience was the exact opposite. It was more like just in the real world, you can like wake up and take your agency, but you still got to fucking roll with whatever is coming your way, you know. But that also means like taking on strengths. Like I remember I had this one dream, right, where it's like I could, it's like I thought I could fly, right? But what it really was I could just jump, and I could jump really high, you know. But it was like in a video game. It took like, you know, you got to do like an ABA to get the big one.
Yeah,
It's
I have a similar dream, but it's not flying. It's like your feet can get some on the air.
Something
Yeah.
like that,
Leverage.
something like that.
But
And
never
if you,
comfortable till you feel confident. It's like always
yes,
just
yes. But mine was just like that, Ricardo. But I guess the first two, I learned that if I would treat, like a normal jump, then that resulted in me going so high, I was kind of like flying. But there was a problem, right? Like you were up there kind of like no gravity for a second. And you know how it is when you jump off a cliff into the water or something. You're like, this is fucking awesome. Wait a minute. You know?
ask them for some golf shoes. There's no footing at all.
And so you then became very selective with that new ability, because as soon as you wanted to go, I can fly, you're like, no, this isn't flight.
Nope. I'm not okay.
It is a skill and it's pretty awesome, but it's not that. And so then in the dream, you could like work it and you become kind of like Mario, or you'd learn, you could go bling, bling, and jump over stuff and, maybe make people think you could fly. But then, as you said, Ricardo, once you got confident, you could like start hovering in that space, and yeah. And I guess that's kind of what we're talking about. So that is a good dream to have in common.
That's a recurrent dream,
Yeah, yeah.
There's Jay Quails in the chat.
Jacqueline, Jay Quills.
Had a party without her.
Yeah, we did.
Me so sorry.
Well, we did it it's like a gathering of energy for you is what it is. I mean, in all our factors that led us to right now this morning, one must be said, one of the major ones was what Jacqueline and her, again, pet is sort of a shitty word around here.
That's her baby.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Long time, familiar companion is a better word. And we all, and Ricardo's, got his lady watching.
Working hard.
I've got Jacob on the other side over here napping, doing that same thing. And, I like being sort of in the middle of that story arc, and Sarah, I'm glad you were here to catch me at probably one of the last times I cried, like that, about that loss of a companion in Luna, right? And then to see it, okay, life's got to keep moving. And that's something that us pet owners or us people that have animals get, that's one thing that I think other people that aren't into pets get shortchanged. You only experience that with like a major human death or something, but whereas with animals, since I was a kid, man, one of my earliest memories was digging a dog's grave, oh, you do this yourself. I get it,
Yeah.
right. And that adds a lot.
Too many.
Too many. Yeah. I've got Ash's, look, I got two. I got Loki and I got Luna right here. I usually, I've learned to just do that to release the energy because I want it back in another pet now. It's sort of been my philosophy. But that adds much to our human experience, doesn't it? And to how we're able to view things and our strength. Y'all, it's no joke. Look, before Jacob came into my life, I was looking into, you mentioned like the zodiac, the energy of the environment. I don't take it seriously at all. I don't consult other human beings, about it really. But I have a few sources I trust to get an idea of what the flavor of the energy is and how it might be affecting me. And dude, everything was about healing in relationship, new relationship, get over the old, right? And so if you were normal, I guess, you'd be sitting there looking out okay, where's the girl? Where's right? That's what you'd be doing. But instead, what I find unplanned and unbeknownst to me thrown in my lap is a little black puppy dog. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. Time to heal over Luna and reboot. And again,
well,
that's
you
just
need
such
to learn
unique-
how to crawl before you walk, so that's a start.
It is precisely. Take it one day at a time with the responsibility thing. Now, daughters have handled the responsibility thing, daughters and the challenges that come therewith. And, you guys know a little bit about my particular story, there's been plenty of that. So we got that handled. But yeah, just to finish our point of, why I like that we all love animals in the same way, because that does mean that there's a lot of wisdom, just behind having loved animals like that all your life. that other people don't get until, mom, dad, or wife dies or something.
Well, do you know about that Russian guy that is extremely friend with one or two grizzlies, gigantic Russian
Okay.
grizzlies?
I don't know the particular, but
So he doesn't live with them, but he goes into the woods and they find him amongst the woods and sometimes outside of the heavy woodland, and he's just sitting there on the grass, and people film the bears coming straight at him, and they open the mouth and put their open mouth that can take his whole head on once, but it's just licking him,
yeah.
right? And he's there just rubbing. His hand looks like a midget,
Yeah.
like an ant rubbing an animal. Right? I don't know if I could do that because it takes a lot of trust
It
and
takes
some craziness.
yeah.
But
Well,
especially
okay.
with two,
Yeah.
not one. But
It
but I
does.
understand there is this connection. It is possible, and it shows that
It
in
is.
the past it was even more possible for sure because we have much more
is.
contact with them.
I think it is. I like I was telling Sarah yesterday because I was talking about swimming with like a shark and stuff. Just saying things. But I threw in there. I'm not advising this, but more, I guess, seriously to the point of really what you're talking about is, dude, it's completely my experience is that, and I trained myself on this with snakes. And again, I don't handle snakes. I'm not going to pick up a snake, right?
Nope.
Not a copperhead, not a poisonous one, right? But I've learned how to be exceptionally close with them, how to work with them in their own way. I learned how they operate, right? Before I went traipsing into where they all live. But that took a minute, right? Because there's a genetic memory, right? There's just a thing when you're down by the creek and you pick up a log and literally 6 inches from you is a big, blackened thing ready to just strike you, right? You've got that innate, oh, fuck, run. But you learn eventually, that, okay, wait a minute. He doesn't want to waste his venom, and he's really hoping I just back up a foot and walk away, right? So he can haul ass. And so you learn pretty quickly that it's just, hey, good morning, dude. My bad, and you could grab your firewood and you just sort of acknowledge him, because what you're doing there is physically you slowed the situation down, but also you're connecting now to this energy that I'm telling you is real because of the results, right? Where you are now open, you are showing no threat, right? And to me, that always translated as, hey, dude, morning, fucking my bad, right? And you set up that energy, and then you carry on either backwards or your way, and you're always going to witness him either watching you leave without moving an inch, or him gratefully just carrying on the opposite direction because you brought that situation to a non-threat level to him, right? Now, that carries forward with everything I've noticed. When I noticed that with snakes, and when I trained myself out of my own, I don't wanna, right? And I learned how to do that. I then went, okay, this carries on with dogs, and I'll tell stories about dogs another day. I think dogs even telepathically and energetically, have communication levels we can just begin to tap into, right? But with animals and natures in general, when I would learn to inhabit and walk that, right? I'd get up to the Cahaba, finding that antediluvian triangle, and it's this old growth forest, y'all, and there's no hunting happening right here, There's wild boars, there's miniature deer. I'd never seen a fucking miniature deer, right? I didn't know they hung out around here. It was like a rabbit, with horns and a big tail, right? All of these creatures.
A mini deer?
It's a mini deer. I mean, I swear, an actual mini deer, right? Freaked me out the first time I saw him, and I saw him many other occasions because his den was
And
right
you
there.
can actually see them without psychotropics?
Yeah, there was no. Yes, Ricardo.
So
It's
what
a-
kind of creature is
Look
that?
it
Is
up.
that a
It's a miniature deer. I swear to God, it's a real thing.
Okay.
And there was one that habitates at this point at the. It's not as small as a rabbit, but when you see a miniature deer run, it's not as big as a deer, right? And so what you see is a white tail and a thing that's not as big as a deer, right? So if your brain is not expecting it, the first thing you're going is, that fucking bunny's huge. It's not.
It has antlers.
Right. Yeah, with the spots, right. It's not that it's yeah. It just that's
it's
what you're-
Bambi.
It is. It's
A miniature
tiny.
deer.
There's you can check me on this. They're around, or somebody released one, but he had him in a little den, right there. I would assume there's a family. There was wild boar. I mean, there was huge deer also, and deer I didn't know existed, and I never heard about. And this goes more to my what I'm trying the point I'm trying to make here. Deer that when they would run is like a horse, right? Like you could hear and sort of feel that reverberation, right? Go up to North Alabama, right, to Mentone, and you can literally, if you know, again, you're right. And I trained Charlotte. Charlotte's the same way because her energy, she just loves animals. In her mind, that means vet. You know, she's just this way. Could walk amongst a herd, you know, of deer at 5 a.m. where we're up grazing, you know, off in the mist, and it's like, just wait, Charlotte, come here. Have this in your head, right? You know, giggle, ha. I was like, now just walk with me, right? And you just walk in between them, you know, and they slowly just, there's a, and that's all I'm trying to say is there's a wavelength, an energy level of intention that one can set. And when one decides to simply set that and walk in that, you will find that the natural world does indeed open up to you know, and respond to you in a different way. And Ricardo, you probably just been this way all your life. That's why you're like, what? Doesn't it always do that?
Well, I'm not known for tracking animals in the wild, but
Not
at least I'm
tracking.
not known for being attacked by them either.
Not frightening. Now I still run from a wild boar. I mean, there's no doubt, unless you know, because I don't carry weapons. That's another part of it. I'm not carrying a gun. You know, I'm out there barefoot, man, with a stick. You know, if you believe in energy connecting to the earth, baby, then I'm walking like they are, and they're
I,
feeling my energy, and I'm feeling theirs.
I can tell you that I was in my a house that I rented while this one was in not construction but serious works. I entered my kitchen, so I had 3 steps. It was a small piece of land with a house in the middle, and there was 3 steps for the kitchen with a door, glass and wood door. And I was in the living room, and I looked into the kitchen because you could see through the glass, and I see this head like passing through the in front of the door.
Hmm.
Now I'm seeing things. So anyway, I grabbed my
It's
I
a
could-
meander.
I grabbed my
Meander.
my samurai sword because I never moved very far away from it, and I went into
What
the
a-
kitchen. I entered to the kitchen and I tried to speak with it at least for 15 minutes, but she was not having it. So I had an hour long, maybe more, fighting with the goddamn snake. It was like 2 meters long.
What a mental image this has been. I'm picturing
It's like
it.
Ricky Tikki Tavi when he was old and infirm.
And she wouldn't budge. So unfortunately, we had to one of us were not going out of there. So and they are not poisonous, but they try to roll on you
What?
and
No,
through
he's-
you. They try to put their head inside your mouth. That's how they kill the animals, and that's how they're known to kill humans here. So they
Yeah.
stick inside your head and don't let you breathe.
That's tough, but
Yeah.
I would say that if it's non-venomous, I'm good with it. You know, I've learned how to happily, you know, deal with that if necessary. Meaning, just pick it up and move it on, and see if Charlotte wants to hang on to it for a second. But
This one
venomous
was not
is
having it. This
where I
one was
just
not having
there's
it.
no point. You know, why would you? Because even if he
It was
strikes
it was
you,
a
it's
s- a
costing
stick,
him. You know.
as thick as my arm, right? So she wasn't
Oh,
having
big
it.
boy.
Yeah, she was not having it. I tried to push it out into the door where she came in. No, no.
Please go.
I thought maybe she had eggs hidden somewhere behind the kitchen, or she was trying to get to
Great.
those,
Great.
Yeah.
or she was trying to lay the eggs in what she thought was somewhere safe. But
That could have been it. If there were eggs, she'd probably been a little more aggressive with your broom pushing.
and I can tell you, she's faster than any human I have sparred with.
Yeah. Again, that's why. Why would you mess with venomous? That makes absolutely no sense to me. I was out on the Quartz Island. We were talking about the Coosa the other day, and I've only seen a few copperheads and snakes out there this year, and they were little ones back when birthing season. Because the water's moving there, and once you learn what type of rock not to pick up, so as you don't disturb and all that, you just don't encounter. But Jacob was way off on the other side by himself, and he can be a dumbass when it comes to what he puts in his mouth. So I gotta go running over there just to make sure. And as I'm sort of jumping from one rock to the other, I look down in the shallow water, and there's a snake skin, and freshly shed one is about like that big and like that long. Jacob, not over here, bro. There's a big one, man. And Jacob will see it and just go, "Oh no, that's a big sausage."
Sausage. Yeah, I don't do snakes. I don't do snakes, but I did feed a deer Reese's peanut butter cups one time. They like Reese's.
Who
knew?
wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Everyone likes them.
I've learned to try to get natural peanut butter and a darker chocolate, but it's the same idea. I mean, that after a cheeseburger is what I call winning on any given day here in the school of life. That we have all, for just over 55 minutes, exhibited, I think, pretty well. I don't have to go wake up the girls for about another 15 minutes, but who wants to talk about something you guys have got going on, or something you want to promo or say to everybody about our little experimental follow where it leads, no plan?
What about the no
Well,
plan? We don't have a plan for that.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't know if you wanted to say anything about our topic of the
Just
day.
kidding.
Which I know.
Now, this is actually the first time that I've been on your show, Jason.
See?
So,
And
great first run.
I knew when I started. It was like, go ahead, Ricardo. No, I asked you to talk, and you started talking. Go.
no,
Go.
I was just saying she came to give a drop of color into the show. Although some of the color is not being used because there's nothing on stage. But there is a huge screen on stage as if there was.
What?
I don't know what you're seeing, but I have the share screen open and we are all to the side. I don't know if that's how
I
you're
don't
seeing it,
know.
but that's how I am seeing it.
Oh, that's what you had to add. No, everything looks good, bro. Everything looks good. So I don't know what's wrong.
It's
on
just
your end.
you.
It's just you, man.
It's like
Yeah.
something is being shared, but it's a black screen. That's all I see.
Because I'm not sharing anymore. You're the only one that sees that. Riverside.
Hang on. What's this?
We have an episode premiere Wednesday.
When I was young in church. All right,
Exactly.
hold on to your plug. Keep it. I had an episode where my vision lost color, turned black and white. I lost my hearing, and when I looked around me, the church was suddenly filled with people not really there. Hang on, there's one more. They were all...
That's clairsentience.
Yeah, show on
She's clairvoyant.
screen.
Tammy, you're
All right.
clairvoyant. Sorry.
They were all... No, this is scribed. They were all dressed from different time periods,
Scrap.
and between them was black smoke in the shape of faces with no expression. Okay, that's demon.
I thought that was Tammy saying that.
That's demon energy. Yeah, so you were having like the hypocrisy of the place and how, that wasn't. Yeah, I see that.
And not
clear.
necessarily. I've been
What do you mean
several
not
years-
necessarily? When I
I've
was
been
young
several
and in
years
church,
in church. Yes.
I had an episode where my vision lost color. He went to black and white. I lost my hearing. When I looked around me, the church was suddenly filled with people that weren't really there. They were all dressed from different time
Yes.
periods. So he's seeing all the before and
Yes.
after. And between them was black smoke in the shape of faces with no expression until they noticed that he noticed them. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
What's your interpretation?
Well, if you go to a church that is not like Catholic Church, that is an active church that uses or try to uses divine given power, let's make it that way. They teach you, and I've seen some things, that demons, which is not something I necessarily believe in, that demons do like to go to church. Not all of them, but there are some that are like if you accept all that story of the fallen angels, right? There are the demons. Some of them are repentant of that, and they try to go to holy places to try and somehow get some of that divine energy that flows into that places because they are adoring God,
Okay, I'm following
right?
you. I'm following you.
So demons are known to these people to go to religious ceremonies, uh, especially those that are active, right, where there is energy flowing. And my church was one of those. There's
Yeah.
lots of energy there.
Energy vortexes get set up. Yeah.
Not in that sense. More like they
Sort
would
of.
call it the agape love acting as a palpable energy,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It doesn't mean that people weren't mean to one another, just the same as everybody is when too many people get together, and envies and stuff like that. But there
Well,
was that communion.
about
The communion was directed at the same point.
Yes, the community is good, but anytime you get a system involved and you've got somebody in charge of a system, corruption's going to enter, right?
Sure.
Like my experience, man, when I was the church I got baptized at, and everybody here knows I was, twice Sunday or every Wednesday, right, for like my youth. But what are main memories? Well, the pastor, the lead pastor, who was pretty cool, and everybody liked him, and the church was growing and booming because of it. Well, he had to resign because he was screwing some other dude's wife, All right. So right there, I had all this hope and this vision and this belief of everything being real, right? Of all this energy, right? That seemed to be saying God and Christ and this, right? I had all of that going when I stepped into it, and then immediately there was. So he was full of shit.
Well,
Damn, that's difficult for a young man to sort of start to go.
but still, God or whatever you want to call it could be working through him just the same.
Yes, nobody said it wasn't the case. Nobody's saying that wasn't the case.
Imagine
right?
God having to find someone that is actually
But-
perfect in every sense. There would
But
be no
you
church.
still used. I didn't argue. I just haven't seen it in a human body. Okay, but we'll take that discussion further elsewhere. I don't think you're gonna. I haven't found it in a human body, but I have found somebody that's. Look, man, I got a moral compass, right? I got a way I operate through the world that's mine. I bet Sarah's got one that she operates on that's hers. I bet you got one that you operate on that's yours. Okay, now. What if, after operating on that compass, right, and you making all those choices that you make, because, right, looking at this whole world that doesn't make choices like you make, but you keep making those choices, right? Do you think that you reach a then point personally where the whole Bible verse, judge not lest you be judged, but the rest of that is be judged by the standard with which you judge, right? Don't you ever reach a point where you kind of go, you can judge me by this standard, right? Like within me, I know how I walk through this. I know how I will walk through this situation next time, So I'm okay looking at you and going, why didn't you walk through this situation that way? I did. Do you need help? I'll show you. Come on, you can do it this way. But after that, you kind of, don't you reach a point where you kind of go, well, wait a minute. And exercise that energy. That's kind of a question, guys.
Well, I think that the process to me has always been one of constant self-analysis.
Daily.
So when I do something that I might be conscious that I'm doing something that I shouldn't, right? Be how I treat this person, or I woke up and my day is not going right, and so I answered not in the best way to that or that person. I didn't say
Sure.
good morning. I immediately recede into myself and said, "Oh, good morning, asshole." So here we are, right? So easy to tell this to other people, right? But now
And
they're
what
you
comes
doing
out
it.
is top of the morning to you.
So it makes you reflect, and sometimes you have the opportunity to go back and say, "Oh, look, I'm really sorry.
Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
being stupid. I don't know. Well, just forgive me, okay?" Sometimes you don't have that chance, but you always have the chance to learn from the experience. Next time,
Amen.
remember that before, right? And it's these little deeds that we all should try to be better. It doesn't mean that any of us is perfect, because
Right.
by all the gods we aren't. Not even the gods are perfect.
Right.
Uh, so, but it's a day struggle of, if we try to do our part in every single phase and try to be as best as we can, and you always keep analyzing, self analysis constantly. Why did I do that? Was it the best way? Was I correct? Instead of just being sure all of the time, because most people are just certain all of the time that they did the best they
Yes.
could, or they
Yeah.
were justified.
Yeah.
Right? I treated him very poorly, but it's justified, right? So there is no justification. There might be that morality, there might be that empathy, that might be that
Right.
judgment that we have to do to determine
Well,
what
yeah.
we're talking about from good and evil,
Once in a
or
while, if
correct.
I'm going to teach you empathy, you might need to know what it's like to get called a shithead. You know, you might need to know that it's like that. That, as you said, sometimes empathy is wanting that other person to stop doing it, and you want them to understand what it's like to be the person on the other end. So,
Yeah, it's
here, it hurts, doesn't it?
like Sean Connery said in a contest that I will not explain here. He said, "Just a little smack. Sometimes needs a little smack." So we all need a little smack from time to time, just to
I do
feel
too. I
better.
mean, it's back to that whole judge how you're judged. I'll take a smack when I need a smack. I actually ask for it. I was like, do not let me miss anything. Okay, I don't care if it hurts. Break my toe, and that's happened. Why is my toe broken? I was about to get hit by the bus, wasn't I? Okay, appreciate it. you know, so I'll take those messages. Let's see. That reminds me, what you said. One thing was each day, Ricardo, and we'll see what Sarah's got on this. That reminds me of when I was in recovery at the Warrior facility. We had this guy we called Coach, and that was because he had coached like Florence or one of the North Alabama high schools girls teams to like 6A, 5A state championships. Like his whole tenure, right? So whatever. By the time you get to rehab, everybody's gonna know you as Coach. But Coach's lesson to me and Coach's lesson to everybody was this: whenever you saw Coach, first thing in the morning, fucking 4:30 a.m. in the medicine line, right? It didn't matter. Whenever you saw Coach, he had on his best khakis, he had on that shirt, buttoned up, had his cup already always filled with fresh ice, Coca-Cola, fucking hair perfect, and he's smiling at you. As soon as you ask him how he was, he go, "Every day's the Super Bowl." you know? That was Coach. Now you had to, you had to go learn more about Coach, right? And so you'd ask him, "What the fuck's up, Coach?" He's like, "Man, it's easy." He's like, "Think about it." He's like, "What happens at the Super Bowl?" He's like, "Everybody's got that best uniform, right? That really expensive one with all the new emblems, no scratches, not even mended. Everything's perfect. The game plan has been rehearsed. It's in action. You don't wake up to go practice, right? Everything is fucking in you. The TV's on. It is now or never, right?" He's like, "That's every day when you're doing it, right?" Every day is the Super Bowl, Coach. Thank you for that lesson. Every day is the Super Bowl. That when you're constantly in that now and you're constantly wanting to approach it that way, that yeah, you're always going to be wanting to bring the best you, right? Now I always saved it to the end of my day, Ricardo. I don't know if others do this, but even when I was a young man, I used to like very little, like elementary school. I remember I'd like to turn the radio on low, at night when it was like bedtime, right? And I needed like a half hour, or so, where I just lay there and like all the things from the day that, I had seen or been aware of, or had done could finally sort of coalesce. And then little, like you're talking about, the little actions going, "Oh, I should have done that, I should have done that." Or wait a minute, "Oh, that's why they said this. Tomorrow I need to, and I could sort of engage in that process of that constantly examining the day. I guess what I'm trying to say, y'all, is to me, it's like, Sarah, you love playing video games, right? Okay, well, don't you often, when you're done playing your game, like, doesn't strategy play out or the thing you want to do the next day? Do you ever experience that, as far as like Zelda?
I mean, that guy is like an unreachable level of put together that I aspire to be.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a testament to how, whatever you are faced with, whatever you're going to encounter in your day, you have the tools. Use the tools that you have. Use what you already have in your arsenal. Like, get through it the best that you can, the best way that you know how. Time for practice is over. You gotta do it now, and you have the tools. Just reach in your pocket. You already have everything you need. Every day's the Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah. That's
you have
it.
all the tools you need. You've trained for every moment that you come to. You've already trained for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that echoes. If there is a definition of faith I liked for myself, was this, Sarah, was, if you look backwards on your life, and you do it objectively, you can kind of see where it makes sense, almost like it was written, right? Like, even the things that in the moment you experienced as, what is this? This is pain. This makes no sense. This isn't what I wanted. You can
We
still look.
hates it.
We hates it, exactly. We hates it. It's. We can look back and we can go, well, now I see. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be now in this place where I'm very glad I'm at, and I couldn't have foreseen, back then, right? Okay, well, if one can achieve that looking back, then one should be able to then sort of turn around, right, and just assume such going forward, right?
Yes.
And
That
that,
comes with age. You don't
yes,
see it that way until you've watched the pattern long enough to become a pattern and notice it. So
yes. But now, what happens if we start teaching that to our children?
they'll be the same
And then
shitheads
what
we
if?
were and
And then
say
what
she
if?
doesn't know anything and do it their own way
You're right.
1,000 times, and then
You're
they'll
right.
eventually get. But maybe they can get there earlier. Like, I know that the level of, like, self-awareness that I'm on, and just, being able to observe what's actually going on, like, in my family and with the
Yeah.
relationships there. I know that I'm the only one who sees it that way, and I'm the first one to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm 37, like, and my mom is in her 60s, and some of these things she's still oblivious to. So, like, maybe that's the pattern, is that you get it younger and younger and younger and younger until eventually all we are birthing is enlightened beings.
I,
That would be
I, I,
nice.
I
That'd be
think there's some.
nice.
I think there's something to it. I do. I was intrigued when I was in school studying. For a while I was all into the government and the politics and the processes, right? But there was one guy who just made a point. He was like, "Look, if you look at all the things that whole generations had to like fucking fight for, like
Yes.
be it civil rights or be it homosexual, whatever. Pick something major in the past when you're studying this stuff." He's like, "Isn't it funny how like the next generation, the kids before they could ever read these books and come to the school, the kids seem to just get it. Like they did, it's not a thing for them, And I was like, yeah, that does make a lot of sense, and that just gets you thinking about this sort of cosmic or quantum or whatever this. If we talk about physical evolution, we should also be talking about spiritual or soul evolution, or whatever word people don't laugh at. But I think that's a very real up thing. Sarah, I always say that change is the only constant, and of that, growth the only
Growth, the
objective.
only objective. Yep.
Because to me, that's what makes it all make sense. If change is constant, what? Either I can sit here and just be a fucking victim of, oh, it's always fucking different, or I could treat it like, you would in Zelda, right? You go, no, I got Link here, motherfucker. If everything is
This
different,
motherfucker gotta jump
if,
in here. I got something for him.
if there's a reason, then
Yep.
exactly. We're just gonna keep rocking and rolling, collecting those lives and those one ups.
Yep.
And I thank you, my friends, for doing it with me this morning as we're at 1:13 on 7:13. Somebody give us some good closing statements.
I just did. Thank you. Have a good day.
Well,
Kidding.
I'm proud of you, Sarah. I'm so proud of you. Y'all, you don't
we all
know.
we all are.
Behind the scenes, look at her. How long ago was it that it was, I'm not going live, I'm not. And then this morning I was like,
Don't do it.
and she's like, you better let me in.
No, I was like, Shaman helped us yesterday in a bind, and he's done that before. And if Shaman needs something, I am there. Like, I am there. Shaman is fam.
I didn't need it. You know what it was. We were like, hey, let's go see what's happening. And we've all been feeling this energy in our own ways. And we all know what we know behind the scenes. And this seems just like a perfect representation of that. And it was put in our laps by not us. I did not set that. I did not touch Riverside. I went to bed at like fucking 10:30, 11, whatever it was last night. And something decided we needed to get together and show the world a little bit of what we do. So we did.
Sure did.
Ricardo, give us something eloquent.
A visionary.
So, uh, since there's
What is a man if the chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed a beast? No more. Sure, he that has made us with such large discourse, looking both before and after, gave us not this capability, this God-like reason to fusten us unused. Now, if I was really trying to play Hamlet, I'd go on and with now whether that be bestial oblivion or to but I'll stop. Okay. See, I expected
Amen.
you to do that. That's your role here, Ricardo.
I
You're
was
supposed
just
to be that.
I was just saying that trying to say that although it seems awfully lot like motivational speech, it isn't. It's I consider to be a reality that most people put their best moments, their best expectations into the future,
See,
and they forget that there is never going to be as good as it is right now, because now is the time. We don't
it's
know.
never,
We are.
there's never a future and there's never a past. It's
We-
always now. Even when you get to the future, it's still now.
Everything is
Still now.
volatile, so enjoy now as much as you can. Anything you have to do, it's now. It's not tomorrow. It's now. Have fun now. Create now. Right? Do whatever you think needs to be done now. And for that, there's nothing better than not this. This was nothing. It's intuition. It's communion. It's being integrated and not individualized, right? Because individualized, you won't reach anybody. If all the greats of history had been isolated individuals, they would have achieved nothing, and we would know nothing of them, right? So
Facts.
it's all a matter of doing our best at any given moment with those that give us the privilege to do it with us. So, and us with them, and that's it.
See?
I didn't even have time to comb my beard this morning, for all of you out there, just to exhibit further what all I'm trying to just do is, it's that. It's about always being willing to now. Oh, the time was put before me now. Okay, it's now. Go ahead, Sarah.
No, I didn't have anything.
Sarah's
You
just
said you
sitting back there.
You said you didn't brush your hair, and I'm thinking about pretty sure I wore this shirt yesterday. I picked it
Same,
up off the floor.
same. I was I was show last night. I did this shirt.
Picked this off the
same
floor this
shirt
morning.
in. It's what I
It's
woke
like, I
up
gotta get
in.
live?
I think the hair was like this, and so I did that, and I got caffeine, and I think we all are doing the same. Again, it's about
Winging it.
well, and know them by their fruits, I mean, what else are we doing here? You and I, we can all do this behind the scenes, like we do. But what we're trying to exhibit is what we mean when we say every day's a Super Bowl and it's always now. And we love every single one of you. And we hope you have a wonderful week. We do hope you come find us at the Institute of Natural Philosophy Discord, where you too can be part of this living experience of always now and trying to gather people who are like us and see what, we all turn our lights on together. We might, actually put a little shadow at bay. I'm gonna go jump in some salt water.
You do that.
Wouldn't
After I
expect
drive
anything
to it,
less.
after I drive to it in the pouring
Do you
rain.
drive to it?
In the pouring rain.
Whatever you have to learn, it's not in the destination.
It's not.
It's on the journey. Amen.
Yeah, it's not. That's it. It is always now. Best story
Well-
I ever heard was now about time was now. The future and the past were having an argument with now about where they were going to have a meeting. So I always wanted to have a meeting, And future's like, well, we should have it in the future, man, because we get there and listen, it's this, it's that, it's awesome. And, he sits them down in this room that's all futuristic and everything you want's flying around and all you got to do is think and it's there. And then past steps in and goes, this is way too much, man. This isn't even about being like a person. Like, why would we meet here? And he takes them back to castled ages and there's fires and it's intimate and I'll make the story quick, right? And he's getting through there. And then Now's just sitting there and he's going, all right, future, and they zoom over there. This is great. Look at this. And he acknowledges his point. Look around, and he jumps back with past, and goes, oh, look at this. This is great. We can have the meeting here, He said, but there's only one problem, guys. And he's like, what? He says, well, in both of these, it's now. So I suggest we go ahead and have the meeting now. And at that point, they all disappeared,
Okay.
It worked. My brain works differently, Ricardo. But I like those little attempts people make at trying to somehow encapsulate these points into little phrases. It's like poetry, but that was just some old drunk guy that, knew the point well because he lived it. And that was like his way of saying it, So I like those little things that concretize hard to grasp points. And so do you two. That's why you sat down with me this morning, because we all have these similar lived experiences, and we know they're for a reason. If you too have similar lived experiences and you know they're for a reason, come find us. Go check out Sarah, Universe Unveiled. Like, subscribe. Jacqueline, who's at home, her partner. You guys, go see what they're doing. They've talked to all the pros. They know what they're doing. Ricardo,
New episode
unfortunately,
Wednesday.
with George Howard.
Yes.
Mr. Titan News Network. Look at you, fancy pants. Just right up there to the top, going, excuse me, are y'all doing something up here? Have you met us?
Hey,
Hi.
we're getting in on this.
Yeah. We've got a room up here, too.
Move over. We're coming in.
Right. And, of course, Ricardo is poorly saddled with me. I'm joking there. It's more likely to say I'm fortunately partnered with him over at the Shaman and the Philosopher, where we will be getting together this week while I'm down with the girls. The girls like to have teenager time, and at some point in those intervals, I'm going to sit down and continue reading Ricardo Calvario's book here. Ricardo's book, Stardust, which is I've been nothing but a delight, bro. And we're hitting all of the talking points that our audience likes and that we like, and so it really becomes, what did you call it the other night, a thought process or a thought experiment? What was the phrase you put on it?
I know myself for not always thinking what I think, but saying what probably needs to be said, either to leave me bad or good. But
Right.
someone will have a thought about it, and that's what matters.
That's it. And then we sort of
Even
try
if it
to
is just me.
when we exhibit our thought process to the audience, I think that's what they're getting out of it, is that through us trying to sort of, when I'm reading, I'll interrupt and go, no, what the fuck's that? Just as an audience's brain might. And so out of that becomes an honest sort of arc, where you can see us talk these points, from beginning to end. And we'll be doing that one day over the next few days.
Sure.
Ricardo, have you learned now how to make God laugh?
Well,
I
I
won't
think
tell
he
you.
learned that the day I was born. And
He was
he hasn't
laughing all
stopped.
the way that
He
day.
hasn't stopped ever since.
You're so vain. You probably think this song is about
About
you,
you.
don't you?
And it is,
Don't you?
because we are all one. So what I said could be applied to every one of us.
Okay, but for the tagline, I love you, bro.
Is it me
Sarah?
being self-absorbed, or is everybody being self-excluded? Because I'm not sure.
I kind of like that. Quit self-excluding. Come find us, Sarah. How do you make the God Almighty laugh in his shoes? He doesn't wear shoes, but how do you make him laugh?
Tell him your plans.
That's right, everybody. We love you. Come find us. We got a roadmap, but you can only see it one day at a time. Bye.
Amen. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. All right, I said stop, but I don't know that it stopped.
You didn't.
It didn't.
Okay. So listen, everybody have
Can't
a
get
wonderful
out of here.
Have a wonderful week.
Help,
It's now.
help.
Help, we're trapped. Run.